back to Classroom Brew. This is episode 113. Classroom Brew is the podcast that's going to feel a lot like teachers just sitting down, having a couple of drinks, and just chatting. And a lot of times it leads to some sort of funny conversation, and every so often we have a solo episode. If you haven't already, make sure you rate and review. That helps out the show. You can reach us at Classroom Brew on social media, or you can email me at classroombrew@gmail.com. You can also send me like a voice message or a video message, something like that. If you do send one of those, whether it's a question or you just want to say something, I'll even play it in the podcast. We'll put the audio in there so you can check that out in the actual episode and everyone else can hear you. That's kind of cool because it gives another layer to the show. Now, was I fighting the fact that I potentially had to burp from drinking this Corona during that opening? Yep, the entire time. I'm not going to lie to you. I would never lie to you. That's a fact right there. And, it's Friday after a very weird week because we've only been back from the strike for a short amount of time. And once this episode comes out, we'll have done our report card pickup the day that this episode comes out, which, you can always check out one of our throwback episodes, Your Kid's a Pain in the Ass. That was from the last year's report card pickup. Yeah, if you're a teacher and you know about conferences and report card pickup, it's a whole big thing. But anyways, with the strike and all that stuff, we received the official word on the makeup days. And let me just go through the makeup days that our lovely district gave us. November 27th, okay, January 2nd and January 3rd, and then June 17th and June 18th. And honestly, pretty much June 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 is a guarantee because we almost always have some sort of snow day or some sort of day where we aren't in school, classes, work, whatever you want to call it. So let's just unpack this a little bit. So we go on strike. And by the way, striking is not time off. It's not relaxing. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of those things. So we have to make up the time, and I understand that the district is limited, the city is limited on the days that they can actually offer as a makeup day, because it has to be a day that we weren't going to get paid. They have to replace a day where we're not getting paid with a day that we could be paid. We lost 11 days. We're going to get 5 of those back. And yeah, so I get it. There's a limited opportunity for days that are, potential makeup days. I get that. But winter break for a teacher is not that long. Really winds up to be about 2 weeks or so, if even, because most of us are still doing work during that time anyways when we're quote unquote on break. But so I'm not going to argue the November 27th thing, because that's not too big a deal. A lot of people work right up till Thanksgiving, so no big deal. But January 2nd and January 3rd? So you don't want anyone to show up on that day, because I know kids aren't going to show up. Oh, and I know the teachers aren't either, because some people have plans. There's going to be a whole lot of subs. There's going to be so much basketball played at my school that day. There's going to be so much not education happening in my school that day for the so few kids that actually show up. January 2nd and January 3rd. Do you know how many hungover teachers there are going to be? The ones that actually show up. Or some people that they know, by November 30th that they're going to be sick on January 2nd or 3rd. Yeah, I'm not feeling too good. I really got to take a sick day on January 2nd. They're like, what is it? Yeah, it's just some sort of ailment that happens when, you consume certain beverages. It's, don't worry about it. I'll see you next year. Which, by the way, if I get that joke one more time from a student, it's like, I know it's not cliche for you guys yet. It hasn't happened a whole lot. But anyway. So anyways, January 2nd and 3rd. There's no way anyone's going to be there for that. I know they still have to vote on it. So let's just do this. The board is going to vote on it. Great. Let's use this podcast. You can do that. So pretend that you're in your classroom, you're in your school, you're on your way to work, or you just got home, or you're on your way home, or you're in the board meeting itself. Let's just use this episode as a chance to talk to the board. Hey, board, guess what? What do teachers really need when it comes to their profession to not burn out? Their break, right? Let me give you some reasons why. You ever walk into your room after a bunch of kids came in first period or second period after they just were playing basketball or came in the gym, and then your room is what? Wherever you are, let's say it together. Smelly. They smell bad. So that's already stressor number one. Now, let's act like we did get our break. What's something that we all need as teachers to decompress? Say it with me. Drink. We need to decompress. And what do we need to decompress? Time off, right? January 2nd and January 3rd, the days after New Year's Day. One of the great times you can drink and relax. And what's one of the big things about being able to have some time away from the students, no matter how much you may like your job? Say it with me. Recharge your batteries, your physical life batteries. So January 2nd and January 3rd? Absolutely not. There's no way that people are going to show up for that. Not to mention if people, imagine if someone has kids. Imagine, like, it's such a crazy thing. People that have kids that aren't in the district, like, I know plenty of people that have kids that are in the suburban districts or even out of state if they're coming a far away. And so great, now you need childcare. Fantastic. That's a whole nother issue right then and there. Right then and there? You know what I meant. So I'm not sure what's going to... My big frustration, too, is that there were plenty of personnel that were in the schools during the strike, like non-union members, like, support personnel or, like, certain office people. We had actually I think all of our office members were out with us striking, so a separate thing. But my experience and experience of other people is that they were like, well, maybe they got a whole lot done while we were gone. Like, for example, I ordered some stuff and things like that. And I know some people that they asked for like maintenance on their room in other schools, and they get back from break and like, hey, did you do it while we were gone? Because you had like 2.5 weeks. And they're like, oh no, I didn't do it. Like, what were you doing for 2.5 weeks? Do you know what I was doing? Say it with me. Freezing my ass off outside. It's so condescending. Say it with me. Wouldn't it be cool if someone was actually doing that? Like, they're actually doing this say it with me, let's say it together type of thing. And they actually said the same thing somehow. Like, they were like, wow, I'm actually on the same page with Ryan after he's about 2 or 3 deep. So yeah, that's, but anyways, yeah, people were saying that not a lot of people got stuff done in the building. I know that obviously there were some kids that did show up. I'm sure that was great. And I'm not convinced that some of the some of the parents and students realized that anything was different. Like I swear there were probably some kids that they were like the kids that roam the hall frequently. They were like, "What do you mean there's no teachers? They're not in class right now?" Because like they're never in class. It wouldn't surprise me. I've got a handful of kids in my head right now that I'm thinking about with that, which is a whole nother issue, obviously. But their day was not changed at all. They were not inconvenienced. I think they're okay. They still got to play basketball for 8 hours while they were dodging hall sweeps and all that stuff. Another thing that I've really been noticing is that it seems like we're all talking about, especially with the strike, instructional minutes and how important those are. Yet somehow there's been so many disruptions in almost every single class period from different staff members over the PA announcement. And it's always at like some like mid lesson moment or like mid discussion moment where like we're at like a pivotal like connection point or something like that. And it's like, all right, and so therefore when we got an announcement, we want you guys to come to, like, shut the I get such a look, and I feel like all my students know, because it could be like mid-sentence, and obviously I'm not going to try to fight over it because, like, filtering that out, but it's kind of a lost cause. But it's been such there are some schools I know that are very militant about, like, when you can and cannot enter a room because you don't want to interrupt instruction, or, like, waiting until passing periods to do PA announcements. And, like, I get it. I actually get it. Only because, like, at some point I'm like, can you plan this better? Like, why are there 18 announcements during my 5th period right now? Like, what's happening? Couldn't we coordinate this? Couldn't we, like, create a spreadsheet, a Google Doc, something where you could, like, list off everything you need to know? Or the people that this is my favorite. They've got, like, some sort of important announcement. Let's just say it's like some sort of message about, like, get a tardy pass. Okay, that's pretty easy. Like, all right, students, the bell just rang. Make sure you go get a tardy pass. And instead, it's like, all right, students, it's just a great day, here at fake name high school. And I just want to say, make sure, and it's just like, is happening. And I say, a lot too. Like, don't get me wrong. If you listen to the podcast, maybe you don't even notice it by now, but I probably do. But it's like, can you get to the point? Can you land the plane here? We're all just trying to, do our jobs, and we don't need to listen to like a 14-minute PA announcement when it could be like 30 seconds. Not even joking. Or even like find some like automated thing that you pre-recorded and then you can just play it. I don't care if you have to hold up your phone to like the microphone or whatever they use to do PA announcements. Like, let's clean it up here a little bit, please, for all of our sakes. Can we clean it up? Can you do that for me? But yeah, no, it's been a really weird time, and I have some people that come into the room every so often to work with kids. Like I have a co-teacher in one of my classes. I have like a coach for Embark with like instruction and things like that. And it's great because she can help take off the load if I'm trying to do a lesson or something like that, or if she's got more experience with the curriculum and I haven't seen something in practice, whereas she's had some experience. Her name's Amy. She might be listening. Never know. Hey, Amy, how are you? But I didn't want to say this at the time, but like right after break, I got back from a union meeting or something like that, and I enter my classroom, and I've been doing a lot of research about classroom therapy animals, right? Dogs. And I enter my room and I stop mid tracks and sitting on my desk, like just chilling there, staring at me like this is an acceptable thing. Say it with me. A mouse chilling on my desk, just staring at me. No, I didn't move. He didn't move. She didn't move. I don't know. He or she. Not going to assume gender there. Nothing happened. Wasn't like eating anything. Wasn't like terrorizing anything. Was just sitting like how there's the Apple logo on the back of your laptop. Just like sitting right there in front of the computer on my desk. And in my mind, I'm like, do I have any food in there? Like, what is he going after? Does he want to fight? Is he territorial? What's happening with this mouse? What's he thinking? Can he see me? And so just my only reaction was like, make a loud noise. Maybe he'll run out of the door because like rats can like squeeze under doors, right? And so I stomp, but then he crawls, he like runs back behind my desk. I'm like, oh shit. Crawls back, and then I lose him for a second, and then I look, and I have this pair of like backup shoes for like when I forget to bring like running shoes or something like that when I have to coach for football. And I haven't used them, in a couple weeks because, the season's been pretty much over, especially because of the strike. And I haven't been in my classroom to get those shoes, whatever. And they're high tops. And I noticed that they're not like lined up. Like I'm not OCD, but it looks like they've moved, right? And I go, oh God. So I just give him a little nudge with my foot, like a little gentle like kick, like, I didn't want to look like, in case anyone was looking, I didn't want to look like I was an idiot. Like, why is this dude like kicking his shoes and like pausing mid-step and like, what's going on with this guy? And sure enough, the mouse was in there. So obviously had to throw out those shoes. So he runs out of there. He scurries around the entire room. And I'm thinking, I don't even know. Like, I at this point, before I kicked the shoe, I like propped open the door. And for context, my desk is in like the back corner. So it's almost like it's the furthest distance from the door. So I'll give the mouse that, like, to connect those dots. Like there was no cheese like right outside the door to help him out. But I was hoping he would see a big opening to get away from, a human being that has about 200 pounds advantage on him. But instead he takes a hard left, like when he could have just gone out the door. He goes into this corner behind like this. We have like these wall outlet things that are like newer technology, and it's a 100-year-old building. So like there's space in between the wall and like the strip that has the outlets or whatever. And he goes into the wall and disappears. I'm like, oh shit. So I look back there, and of course my newly within the last like 1 calendar year renovated room, I look back behind there, and sure enough, there's like a hole where like the paint was chipped, and you can see it's like probably a mouse could squeeze through there, and he got away. So I didn't want to tell Amy that, because at the time I think they were still looking for him. It had been like a 2-day process or something like that, or maybe 1 day. I don't know. I can't remember if they had found the mouse and like gotten the mouse at that point. They did eventually, but I didn't want to freak Amy out and be like, "Hey, just keep your eyes peeled. I hope. Do you have anything in? Do you have plastic bags? Are they sealed? Great. No reason, nothing. Just just be cool. No sudden movements, or only sudden movements. I'm not sure whatever, a mouse, I didn't say mouse, no. And then fast forward. So obviously, like, he's sitting at my desk. He's marking his territory. That's a bold mouse. But apparently, when the custodial staff went to go, like, get the mouse or whatever, I let someone know right away. And I'll admit, like, it's kind of cute. Not a big rodent guy, but kind of cute. But I don't want you near my stuff. Especially, like, sometimes I eat at my desk. Had to give it a good wipe down after that, of course. But this is turning into the mouse episode. But, yeah, no, apparently when they went to go to the spot, he was chilling right outside of the little hole in the wall that they were about to patch. Just chill, like the boldest mouse in the world. They go back for him to be like, all right, we got to get this mouse. And they're like, oh shit, he's right there. This mouse is like, this mouse didn't give a fuck. That's a badass mouse. Maybe he does belong in that room. I don't know, man. I don't know how long he's been there. What if he's been staked out in those shoes for a while? Hopefully not during the football season, because like I would use those every so often. Not anymore. They're in the trash now. Maybe I should have left them outside. I don't know. Well, I think they killed the mouse. Sorry, PETA, but we don't know what diseases he might have. That happened when I adjusted the new radio studio. I like got in there, moved a desk around, and there's like a door for like where the computer in that room was, and I went to just like turn it on or something. And when I opened the door, like a big dust bunny flew out. It wasn't a dust bunny. It was a mouse. So. Say it with me, guys. If you're in your car, if you're at that board meeting, letting them play this episode to advocate for why we shouldn't have January 2nd and 3rd, and they're like, why is he talking about mouses? Say it with me all together. Gross. Nasty. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Hopefully you guys are having a good build up to Thanksgiving break. I'm sure you'll see some great memes about, how people are going to get all the gains and all that stuff. And it's a good time of year. I think Thanksgiving's an underrated holiday, and I'm looking forward to my break. So, yeah, thanks, guys. This was fun. It helps to have like one or two beforehand, because I really just like thoughts you never think of when you're going through the week. They just come back to you right there. Like you write down like 2 words on your notes when you're about to sit down and record your podcast, and then you wind up going for, like 18 different things that you thought of that you didn't remember. So that's pretty cool. At least I hit record. I just had this moment where I was like, did I hit the record button? Kind of like the mix-up I did with the first 2 minutes of the Joe D episode. And I think a couple others, but that was like the more prominent one where I still used that stuff and we didn't start over. So thanks so much for listening to this rant. Hopefully you were saying along with me. We should start doing some sing-alouds, right? Some sing-alouds with your favorite podcasts. The only podcast that probably does that. I'm thinking about taking the podcast on the road too. Maybe going to, I should have done it during the strike. I really should have. I could have done like a podcast outside, but do it outside during the strike. That would have been a good one. You just random people downtown. But next time, maybe next strike in 5 years, we'll do it. It will inevitably happen, so we might as well do it then. So thanks so much for listening. Rate and review, all that good stuff. Reach out. If you want, again, you can send an audio or video message. That all works for me. But until next week, class dismissed.